you'll meet, but you have to give me like some substantial evidence or something that makes me go, and I can't just go into google.com like Alex said and just disprove it in like 20 minutes of reading NASA or, you know, a science magazine.
There should be an open question. You know what I mean? There should be like a sort of like scattering of thoughts that are all based on established facts.
It's between science and the theory crafting of the paranormal. And
I was literally about to say this.
Yes, science is always open. The reason why you can assault science and be like, well, that's not, they don't even know, is because scientists are never willing to say, we have all the answers. So we know why this occurred. They'll say, here's our theory. We have the evidence to back up this theory. But we'll be honest with you, we don't exactly know.
Yeah, and the truth is not a hidden secret at all.
Yes. Yeah, and the problem is that most people saying, well, we know about aliens or we know about the Hollow Moon, they're like, we have the answers. And that's the difference.
They're not open to anything else.
Right. They can have such fundamental, like, we know everything. They can jump in on science and be like, see, they're not even telling you everything, but we know. And I feel like that's
if you tell a scientist they're wrong because fact, they're going to be like, oh shit, I am.
Yeah. That is literally what that's what it's not like you're going up to scientists and they, like Jesse said, they're just like lock and key being like, no, this is the facts. They want to be proven wrong because scientists want to know the truth. They are thirsty for knowledge.
Now there have been many cases in history when scientists have been like, no, we're going to poo-poo this and we disagree. But in the end, every single time, in the end, science fact disproves the like ego of some scientists. It's absolutely true. Just like every other field, there are scientists with ego who like, I discovered this theory, and so I'm right.
Look at the dinosaur race or whatever, like the sort of like arms race of discovering dinosaurs.
Yeah.
People eventually will be taken down by fact. They can BS and be like, well, as a scientist, I believe this. But even in the science community, and at the end of the day, science fact wins out. It's just the way it is.
Yep. And how it should be. Even in this crazy world that I love of UFOs and space, I will always err on the side of science than crazy conspiracy theories. I mean, it's just it's how it should be. Like reading this website, and this website, he has books and all kinds of things. You just can't help but look and be like, man, this guy is just desperate for his theories to just be right, and just overlooks anything that proves his theories are shaky at best and completely wrong at worst.
Yeah, it's not hashtag fake news. It's hashtag like not a scientist.
Right. It's crazy. But I mean, that's the general. I mean, we've been going for a while here, and that's kind of the general overview of the moon and all of its hollow or holographic or future human built theories. And there's a bunch of other theories out there. Obviously, we can't cover them all. We'd be here for 3 hours. But that's kind of the hot topics, I would call them, of the moon itself. And my favorite one is that humans time travel to build the moon to facilitate life on Earth, because that's just
like a Doctor Who episode.
Because of the numbers. Well, there is a Doctor Who episode about the moon, and it is
that's true. That's right.
And it hatches. I think it's like a space dragon.
And there's also reptilians in Doctor Who now.
Oh yeah, that Doctor Who. Yeah, Doctor Who's a great show, but
a great fantasy show.
So about. Exactly. It's not. You do not watch Doctor Who and take notes for your scientific conspiracy theories. That is not what you're supposed to do with Doctor Who. I know it says doctor, but he's not an actual doctor. He's not real. But the question is now, Jesse, have I blown your mind?
I mean, my mind is blown. I'll give you that. You nailed that.
The bell shit fucked me up.
The bell.
Yeah, the bell.
That's the one interesting fact I think that comes out of all of this.
The bell's interesting.
I'm gonna go immediately after this and listen.
And the astronauts, and Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Edgar Mitchell. Those three saying that they believe are aliens is interesting.
Astronauts
to me.
talking about aliens always creeps me out.
But I believe that aliens exist. I just don't know their effect and role on Earth.
On Earth, if any.
Right. But I think if we can say mathematically that we're not important and like things happen in the universe, we have to also say mathematically that life can exist elsewhere in the universe.
Of course.
So
the anthropic principle, my man.
Yep.
And that's something that you should always go back to.
Yeah, we like wrote this. We really wrote like an academic essay in this episode. We did a good job.
It was fun. It was super fun. I love this shit, man. I could spend the late nights of just creeping myself out.
That's the zone, man. Just watching weird ass vids. You got to keep your mind open.
Like how I just remember, like I was watching the second part of the reptilian interview, and I was just like, how did I get here? Like, what wrong choices did I make?
I want
to find
that
myself
link,
in
by
this
the way.
part of YouTube. I'll get it to you. It's great. It's really fun to listen to. But that's it. That's Hollow Moon and Holographic Moon and all kinds of things. That's episode 3 of the Chilluminati podcast. I can't believe it's only been 3 episodes. It's been super fun.
Good.
We like, this is just a great, I just love this show. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, the usual, man, throw us a great review on iTunes or wherever you end up listening. We have a subreddit that's been more and more active every day that passes with great stories from people, from our listeners, and discussions on what they want to see on the show. So go check that out. Obviously, you can follow all of us on Twitter, Jesse Cox on Twitter, Faciane on Twitter as well, and Mathis Games here, as well as you can check out the actual podcast is Chilluminati Pod on Twitter as well. We will be back in a couple of weeks with a bit of a special episode, one headed by Mr. Alex himself.
Oh man, it's real dumb, you guys. It's crazy. Get ready.
That's perfect. Crazy and dumb is what
I'm all about. The like super specific
guys,
weird stories. That's my zone. So we're gonna do that.
Dude, I'm pumped. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be back soon. We appreciate the support. See you later.
Cold Blood, Nordic True Crime. In 1977, a pipe bomb explodes in a phone booth in Gladsaxe, Denmark. It's the start of a 2-year bombing spree that grips the nation in fear. The police have no leads apart from a series of mysterious letters. From Podimo, this is Cold Blood, Nordic True Crime, a series exploring outrageous crimes from Scandinavia, crimes that made headlines and gripped the region. Listen wherever you get podcasts, or for early access and to listen ad-free, subscribe to Podimo on Apple Podcasts.
Listener, it seems like you're into podcasts, but did you know you could turn that passion into an actual career? Here at City, University of London, we've been working with industry insiders to design a new degree to teach you all you need to know about podcasting. From developing enterprising ideas and perfect audio production through to marketing and business development. Make this your future. Apply now, and the next podcast you hear me in could be yours. Go to city.ac.
Let's dive into, are we going to call it episode 4 or mini-sode? I guess we'll find out, but welcome back, everybody, to the Chilluminati podcast mini bonus episode, or episode 4.
Oh my gosh.
This one, my hands are off the research reins. This is fully in Alex's lap. He hasn't told us what he has prepared for us.
Can I tell you guys something before we jump into this about Alex?
Yes.
He has a video, I don't know if anyone knows this. He has a video series on YouTube.
Yes, he showed me.
Really weird about, I don't know, Alex, supernatural, paranormal stuff. I have no idea what.
It's a paranormal video series that I do as a hobby,
and it is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Only rarely. It's kind of like played for comedy as much as it is for making your brain hurt.
It's truly one of the most insane things I've ever seen a person ever do.
It has. What I'm saying is, it has jokes.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's paranormal stuff without any sort of judgment on it. I just present it exactly how it's told. Stories that are less known. It's called Mystery Search. You can check it out. It's
creepy. He
probably
made the
total
creepiest,
2,000 views.
The creepiest series I've ever seen.
Give it a look.
Give it a check.
Give it a look, you guys.
That's awesome.
But this is kind of along those lines, actually, because this is a story that I've always thought was like so hilarious, and I'm not going to tell you whether or not this is something that I like believe in. I think it'll become pretty clear pretty soon whether I believe in it or not. But I have some ground rules because I'm just going to basically like go through this story with you guys, and you guys can feel free to stop me and like discuss at any point. But the ground rule is, do not Google this.
Okay.
And do not. And
I won't.
I'm
I'm away from the computer now. I'm moving away.
Okay. My keyboard is pushed in.
not
I'm not going
guess.
to check anything.
Yeah, and do not guess what it is. If you think you know what it is, you can say, I think I know what's going to happen or whatever. Don't guess what it is till the end because it's good.
Yeah.
At least until the reveal.
Of course. Yeah.
So we're just going to go in. This is a website that I found. I'm not going to tell you anything about it other than that this is called Everyday Chemistry. Okay?
Oh, no.
Do not Google that phrase.
No. Okay.
For you, you still have no idea.
I have no idea. I just know it's going to be
Guaranteed
crazy.
you have no idea where we're going to go with this. But
No.
please, if you're listening, don't Google it till after. Because once you Google it, you can go right to this and find it. And, like, the reason I like this story, other than the fact that it's a crazy story, like just like a silly-ass story, is that, you know, a lot of these paranormal happenings tend to not have any sort of good evidence.
Yeah.
And whether or not you believe in this evidence that this story presents to you after I read it or not, the evidence exists. So that's why I like this. You can go and check this out after I read it, and there is something for you to see that is the thing.
Okay.
Okay? So here we go. We're just going to jump
All
right in.
right.
This is the part.
I'm nervous,
this is
man.
the
I don't know
part
what's about to happen.
This is, yeah. This is the part on the website that's called The Story, and I'm just going to read it verbatim with some omissions. Just to protect the reveal till the end, because I think that's a funny part of this. Okay? Here we go. The following is an actual account of my experiences as of recently. Because of the nature of what has happened, I must remain anonymous until I feel it is safe to reveal my real name. But for now, you can refer to me as James Richards. Cool?
Yeah.
On September 9th, 2009, I experienced something that I am still having trouble believing happened to me. I came into the possession of a cassette tape containing a... That's
A noise?
That's me censoring it. That's me censoring myself. Because I don't want you to know
okay,
what
gotcha.
is on the tape. In fact, not only was it never... but it was... and no, I'm not talking about...
What?
You've lost me. You've lost me.
This is just me redacting things so that you don't know what's going on.
You're redacting parts of the story.
Just because it's just his intro and it spoils what the whole point of the story is,
Okay.
and I don't want to get there.
All right.
Now this is where the story becomes slightly more unbelievable, and it is almost embarrassing to attempt to explain the incident to you for fear of viewing me as completely absurd. I must assure you, I am not insane or on drugs, and hopefully the audio from this tape will be enough proof that there is more than we think.
First of all,
out
hold
there.
on. If you're gonna give yourself a fake name, why James Richards?
Sounds like a
Like,
newscaster.
why not give yourself a badass like super spy name, like Agent
Killer.
Zero, or something badass?
I don't know what. I don't know why.
James
I don't know why.
Richards?
Maybe that's his real name. Maybe that's like his
Maybe his
hiding in
name's
plain
Richard
sight.
James.
He's a genius, creative genius. Could
That's like that white supremacist teacher. Did you hear about that?
God,
What?
no.
I don't want to go down this. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far. But there's like this teacher in Florida who like has like a like secret white supremacist podcast, and she like brags about being a teacher in the podcast, and that she's like low key teaching her kids white supremacist ideals.
God.
And like they figured out who it was and what school she was at and stuff. And her name turns out to be like a what do you call it? Like
Anagram?
a anagram or whatever of her name. So silly. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
People
Anyway,
are dumb. Anyway, continue.
back to the story. I live in Livermore, California, but on September 9th, I was driving home from Turlock after visiting a friend for a few days. I had my dog with me, and I didn't have any plans for the day, so I decided to take a drive through a place called Del Puerto Canyon, just west of Turlock. These are real places. I've been through this area. That's me saying that. There is a scenic road that is a fun drive and actually goes through to Livermore. I hadn't taken a cruise through it for a while, so I thought I would. A ways into the canyon, my dog started acting like she needed to use the restroom. So I pulled over to the first available parking area to the side of the road and let her out while I stretched. At first, I didn't notice, but then I heard the barking from 30 yards away. My dog was chasing a rabbit. Now, my dog is a pretty good dog, but if she is chasing something, then there is no stopping her, so the only thing I could do was become part of the chase. They already had about a 40-yard head start, so I really had to book it. The uneven ground and soft dirt patches made it difficult to run, and it wasn't very far into the chase I had stepped in a rabbit hole, fell, and knocked myself unconscious. So this guy basically saw his dog. I don't know how he knew that the dog was chasing a rabbit. Like, my dog just runs away for any
Right. A taste of freedom.
But your dog is possibly an alien. Let's be clear about this.
That's true.
Alex's
That's
dog
true. He
is
might be
not,
from Endor.
does not look like a dog.
He might be from Endor's moon.
He's from the Hollow Moon.
Yeah, he's from his homeworld rings like a bell. But here's where the story takes a turn. When I woke up, I was in a room with some furniture and electronics in it. I was taken care of with a bandage on my head, but I still felt uneasy about the situation because where I fell and hit my head was in a very rural, unpopulated area with no houses, and outside the window of the room I was in, I could hear traffic. I wasn't near the window in the room. It was actually on the other side next to an unusual looking electronic machine that I didn't recognize from anywhere I've seen before. The only reason this stood out was because it seemed out of place in a person's home, which most of the room resembled. I decided to get up and look out the window, but the door opened and in ran my dog, who was pretty excited to see me. When I looked up, there was a man standing at the door. He was about 6 feet tall, had medium long black hair, and was dressed casually nice, but gave me a greasy vibe, if you know what I mean.
I do. I know what that guy...
I'm thinking Howard Stern is what I'm like imagining.
Yeah, I can see that with the longer black hair and kind of a creepy vibe on him. Yeah, all right, I got you.
Really self-deprecating, little like microfiber, like flimsy t-shirt from the 80s.
Yeah.
We got it. He introduced himself as Jonas and asked me if I was okay, which I said yes. He said he found me unconscious in a field with my dog barking at me. So I thanked him for helping me and my dog out, and that I was surprised my dog even came back to me. I then asked him the question that would make me start wondering if I, in fact, had gone crazy. I asked him, "Where am I?" "About 20 feet away from where I found you," he replied. I told him that couldn't be possible because there was no houses within at least 20 miles from where I last remember being. He then told me that what he was going to say next would be very shocking and unbelievable, and that if he didn't actually experience it himself, then he wouldn't believe it. He took a look at the machine near the window and looked back at me and said he transported me into parallel Earth.
What?
He said he traveled to our Earth dimension and found me knocked out in the blazing heat with nobody around to help me out. Normally, he said he doesn't take outsiders through a portal, but in my case, he thought I needed urgent help. I immediately started asking questions about traveling to parallel worlds, since all I knew about the topic was YouTube videos of Michio Kaku.
Yo, we need to do an episode of Michio Kaku. I love that dude. Love that dude.
Let's get him on the show.
I'd
Maybe he'll
love to
come
talk
talk
with him.
with us about Skinwalker Ranch.
No, wait. I want to talk to him about, like, the different stages
Space.
of intergalactic beings and stuff. Oh, man. I love that dude.
And being able to go through parallel universe portals.
Maybe he knows.
It's like comic
true.
book. We're from Earth 4312, and he's now on Earth 4313.
Yeah.
Exactly. He told me to slow down and that he would explain himself. Apparently, in his world, a parallel travel machine can be purchased quite easily. Oh shit, I lost my place. Oh, while not cheap, it's pretty popular even though the machine can be dangerous enough to cause death. In the 1950s of his dimension, the government was faced with a decision to continue to fund a space program, I'm guessing NASA, or a parallel dimension program called ARPD. I can't remember what he said it stood for. I'm pretty sure
ARPD?
Yeah.
It's like
Isn't that the name of the movie with Jeff Bridges?
well, ARPD just reminds me almost of like DARPA from like Lost.
It does. Yeah, it does sound
Yeah.
like DARPA, but not like Dharma, but like DARP. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not Dharma. Yeah, you're right.
DARPA is from Metal Gear.
That's what. Yeah, that's
DARPA
where I'm getting
cheat.
from.
Yeah. DARPA stands for something. Like
Yeah, it must.
defense.
Yeah, I think it's a real thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
defense something research something. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what he said it stood for. I'm pretty sure the PD is parallel dimensions. And I remember the acronym because I noticed it a lot on the electronics in the room I was in. He then explained that the real danger of using one of the machines was exploring new dimensions. Since there are an infinite amount of Earths in other dimensions, only a small amount have been explored. The problem with exploring unknown dimensions is the chance you will die somehow once you walk through the portal doorway. He told me that people die from falling if the ground isn't close enough to where the portal opens.